guys, Huzzy here, bringing you another video. Welcome back to a Snapchat Q&A. So I try to do Q&As once every month. Again, just the reason why, I know they're not the most popular videos that I do, and people are like, where's gameplay? I always try to do them once a month to give people an option to ask me questions for a couple reasons. First thing is, if you've got a burning lol question that no one's answering, your favourite streamer's not answering, who knows? It's more of a chance, because this is a video purely about answering questions. But secondly, when I wasn't a YouTuber, and hell, still to this day, I have questions for certain people. Like, there is a question that I really want to ask that person that question, and if you have one of those for me, then this again is the opportunity to do that. I've had the luxury of being able to ask questions of people that I've wanted to, most notably a couple people. Jesse Cox, I've had the pleasure of meeting him, but I've also had the pleasure, very occasionally, of messaging him and he's replied. And that has been very rare. And then the other probably bigger example is Dyrus. I've had very, okay, we follow each other on Twitter, and if I've got a burning top lane question, I ask him in DMs, and he's always answered, which is really, really nice. But anyway, we're doing a Snapchat Q&A. So about 50 minutes ago, I want to say, I said, yo, doing one, let's go. On the screen right now, if I remember, I'll put my Snapchat, I think it's a snap code. Add that if you want to. I try to be interactive on Snapchat, but I would say generally I don't answer that much lol advice on Snapchat, because it's kind of like my time off. Like, if I'm going on Snapchat, sometimes it's just to kind of learn stuff about the world, see what people are doing, get away from the lol stuff sometimes. But in this particular Q&A, I'm sure there'll be lol questions, which is fine. But let's begin. So the first one is from Josh. Do I see myself ever quitting League? If so, what other games might you play instead? It's inevitable. Right now in your life, the thing that you love doing the most, I know it sounds very pessimistic me saying this, there is probably going to come a day that you're going to eventually have to stop that. And arguably, you're probably going to stop video games more than other things in life. If you play football, rugby, you do athletics, well, you could probably keep that going for a long time. But video games change often. Athletics and running has been the same for 100 years pretty much, while League is changing every single week. They could make a change that you don't like. It could be a number of things. So yes, inevitably I will most likely quit League. I don't see it to be anytime soon. Again, people know my plans of becoming a pilot in probably a few years' time. I don't see myself quitting any time before that. Why would I? I love League. Still, next season I am looking to do a couple things differently than I've done for the past few years. And I've said before, hey, it's time to climb in that, but it's something a bit different that I'm not going to go fully into yet. But no, I don't see myself quitting anytime soon. And he did say, what game would I go on? If I quit League today, what game would I suddenly play a lot of? World of Warcraft. I'm already playing a little bit of again, but I'm preparing myself for the upcoming expansion, Battle for Azeroth. That's out in like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. I'd probably just go back to being a proper WoW player, to be honest, and raiding and properly raid leading heroics and mythics and stuff. So that's probably what I would do. But yeah, no time soon. Next one is McKinley Go. I don't know how to pronounce that. What debate event did you do in high school? So again, I've mentioned in the past I do have a debate background. So it started in our English class. I had a teacher, I won't name her, because of privacy and that, but she is the best teacher I've ever had. I will forever remember her. She was the type of teacher that gave you a voice, and if you didn't have one, if you were like the emo kid, which I wasn't, but we had in our class, she brung them out of their shell. She was very eccentric, amazing woman. If you yawned in her class, she had dice on her desk, and you had to roll them, and depending what they were, you had to run up and down the corridor, like in the hall. And, that was distracting other classrooms, but she didn't care. And there was, before I say about the debate stuff, but I'll just put this anecdote. I had a friend called Theo. He was funny. I liked a lot of people in my class in English. It was one of the top boy sets. And he yawned, and he was always the type of guy that backtalked. Not in a bad way, but we had a very good banter class in my English class. And he rolled a 2. So 2 ones. Each dice had a 1. And he looked at the classroom like, hey, only 2. And, that was the lowest you could get. Then she said, all right, 2 laps. And he was like, okay, around the field. So he had to go, not the corridor, he had to go around the whole field. And we was watching him because you could see the field. That's the type of teacher she was. It was banter, it was funny. And no one ever felt like they were out of place. Anyway, as I said, the reason I said that is because, you know, she brought people out their shells. You know, she was very much on respect, and she was about using your own voice to project your emotions. So she introduced me to the world of debating. It wasn't mandatory. There wasn't a module in it in our GCSEs or anything, which is our exams. She just did debates that we had to separate all the chairs in the classroom and make two little desks facing each other in the middle. And without a shadow of a doubt, because we started doing them, I was quite good naturally, and she wanted 4 new students every single time. We did this about once a week. I was in every single one. She didn't have 4 new students. She always got 3 new students because she always selected me. And a lot of the time, she put me on the topic that I didn't agree with. So we did topics about smoking, about should it be on the NHS if you get something bad to do with smoking. We did like everything that you probably shouldn't do when you're 15, 16 years old, but we did. And she always asked me, what one do you agree with? And she put me on the other one. I worked it out in the end. But from that, there was then debate stuff going on in the actual school itself. And then there was like regional championships, national championships, and I did a few of those. All stemmed from that English class, all of it. So incredibly fond memories. And I put it to why a lot of people have asked me, how do you talk without preparation? Debates. I went into debates with preparation, so and sometimes I didn't. But I've always done public speaking, and that debate made me think quick. You had to think quick. If you didn't think quick, you were done. So that is, yeah, it was started in the English classroom and then moved into like regionals and nationals and stuff like that. So, but all of it stemmed from that teacher. And I will always remember her because I'll say the one thing about teachers is most of them aren't special in some ways. They don't leave a mark. The ones that do will most likely stay with you the rest of your life. And there are a good few that's true for me. All right, next one. So again, I'm not going to go through every single one. If it's not like a fantastic one, then we'll just skip a little bit. So again, someone's asking about op.gg reviews. We do them on stream. Not every single stream. I haven't done one for a couple weeks because I actually felt we were overloading them a little bit when we first started. But in the next couple days, the next stream or so, we'll do them. Generally, it's for Twitch subscribers. But if there's not many people around, or if I'm just in the mood, I'll do them for everybody. But if you want to guarantee your slot in them, Twitch subscribing is the way to do it. And the higher tier of Twitch subscribing you are, the more priority you will be. And then, yeah, so we'll do that in probably a couple of days' time. And again, I'm probably going to do that roughly every 2 weeks, something like that. So that's when we do them. All right, next one is... What do I think about the future of the EU LCS? Do I think it's going to die or right? Is Riot going to support the more poor teams? I obviously made the video recently when I was like, I'm a little bit concerned. And some of that concern was proven correct in some ways recently. So the view numbers of the recent LCS finals were not impressive for either European or North American. And if you're kind of like, what? Both views of the streams, and again, I'm not biased to EU here, both EU and North America are down comparing to last spring split. So don't get confused here, because I had a friend that did it, was like, wait, no, they're up from the last final. They're down from spring split of 2017. They're up from summer, but you can't compare summer to spring. It's different. There's, people are off or busy, whatever. So if you compare spring last year to spring this time, they are both down around 100,000 views respectively each. That's pretty big. And the reasons why, and what I will say is North America probably is down because they didn't have a big impact team in the final. What I mean by that is TSM is probably the biggest fan base in esports. When they're in the final, they bring the viewership, right? They're that big. Well, it was 100 Thieves and Team Liquid, who, sure, are big organizations, but 100 Thieves is brand new, so their viewership and fan base is still growing. And Liquid has always been the fourth place meme team. So it's like their fan base isn't probably massive. The two arguably largest fan bases in America would be TSM and Cloud9 nowadays, and neither of them were in the final. So that's probably why the North American viewership was suffered. And obviously, yes, recently Europe hasn't been doing great in viewers for a number of reasons. But am I concerned about it? Yes and no. I think the franchising thing will either make the EU LCS grow and excel, or it will kill it. So if you don't know, they are adopting the franchising model that North America just has in Europe LCS now. It's estimated that each team slot is going to be 10. I think it was 10.5 million euros, which is about 13 to 14 million dollars each. So around the same price as what they'd paid. And you know, you're going to get interesting organizations in. If you look deep within like tweets and likes and stuff like that, if you buy into that type of thing, a couple of Real Madrid people have liked certain tweets from different esport individuals. So, you know, Real Madrid could get in there. And if Real Madrid get in there, then Inter may get in there. Barcelona may get in there. That wouldn't surprise me. And, you know, you've got Paris Saint-Germain. You could have some English teams. You know, Manchester City, it might have been, that had something to do with esports a couple of years ago. And potentially it was CSGO. It would be very interesting. But then again, back in my head, do I even want that? That it's basically just football organizations just having a team? To be honest, no, not really. Like, to me, it's really weird. I want the orgs. Like, again, the reason why I don't care much about EU LCS is because I don't care about any of the orgs, because I don't feel anything for them. And maybe to the vast majority of people that will help. Hey, Manchester United's making an esports team in the LCS. I support Man U in Premiership. I'm going to support them in LOL. Maybe that will help for the average person, but that won't help me at all. I more care about esport organizations that have their own story that came up and made themselves, like the TSMs of the world, rather than them just kind of going, hey, we're this and now we're coming in here. So I don't know. It's EU LCS franchising is either going to make it or break it, and I don't see it being like, if it goes like, by the way, failing is staying exactly the same. If they get this franchising and nothing changes, it doesn't seem like anything changed, that's a fail. So yeah, like, I'm a bit worried, not gonna lie. Alright, let's keep her going. From Steve, for a bronze player, how big do you recommend a champion pool to be? Alright. To the average player, I recommend each player, if you want to escape bronze, realistically, I would say play 3 roles. Have your main role and have 2 off roles. And have probably maximum 4 champions in each role. So you're talking 3 roles, 4 champions. I'm saying 12 champions. At any one time is your rotation of champion pool. Yeah, I'd probably say about that. That to me is relatively realistic. You can have a range of champions within each 4 selected for each role. You could definitely cover a wide variety of what your team needs. Hell, you could probably do 2 similar champions to get good at one play style, and then 2 completely different champions if your team just needs something else. I think that would be healthy. I think, you know, 3 roles, 4 champions in each, that's enough. Alright, next one is... So it's recently in an episode I spoke about EU Northeast and EU West and the differences of them. He's saying, can I just expand a bit more on it? Should you swap or no? He's saying he's EU Northeast, he's in Diamond 5. Well, see, Diamond 5 on EU Northeast, you probably wouldn't be Diamond on EU West. And that pretty much just summarizes the topic for me. You know, if you're listening to that and you're annoyed by that, well, the way that I'm maybe built differently to some people. If there's a server that it's fine for me to play on and it's like, that's more of a challenge, I'm going to that server. Because I wouldn't want to be thought down on because I'm on an easier server. And it is easier. Like, again, it's a proven track record of it being easier. That's not a debate. And again, some people in the comments of that video were like, what about the ping? Well, if I'm not mistaken, EU West potentially is in Frankfurt, Germany, where they hold the EU servers. EU Northeast is in Netherlands, it might be. So the ping difference is negligible. Like, if it's more than a 10 ping difference, depending the server, I'll lick a window. Like, it shouldn't be. So really, it's up to just quality of play. Like I said in that video, if you're not in League for just ranked or competitive, it doesn't matter which server you play on. But if you are a ranked player, to me, there is no reason that you're on EU Northeast. Just go on EU West. Even if that means you drop in rating, which you most likely will, well, then it's more like, ooh, this server's hard, it's more difficult, it means more, my ratings actually matter and stuff. So, you know, again, just to kind of say, there is a reason why no LCS Pro plays on EU Northeast. Every single one of them plays on EU West. You know, that's just a fact. They may have accounts on their old server, EU Northeast, if they're from one of those countries, but the primary server of high competitive play is EU West. So, it's pretty much that simple. All right, let's keep her going. I will say, we still have questions coming in, like crazy amounts. I'm probably going to go for about an hour here, though, by the way. I'm kind of in the mood. I do have a headache, but again, the reason why I'm making this video sometimes, one, I do them once a month, but two, they're just good to do for me to chill. I like talking, as most of you probably know. Next one is, someone's just saying, am I happy with the NA LCS result? Who did I support? No one. I didn't support anyone. I wanted a good series. I would have preferred if it went to 5 games and it was very close. Am I unhappy with the result? No, God no. I did, you know, when I say I didn't support anybody, I probably wanted Team Liquid to win a little bit more for one sole reason: Doublelift. Everybody knows on my channel, if you don't, well, you're about to find out. I'm a massive Doublelift fan, always have been. Even when I supported TSM and he was on CLG for years, I still supported him. I still wanted him to do well. I've always been a massive fan of Doublelift. And, you know, with the recent events, you know, well, one, he joined TSM, which made me love him even more. And then he left, which I respected. And, you know, you guys know I've drifted away from TSM over the last couple of years. When he went to Team Liquid, I was like, I like the roster. I like Liquid. You know, I was in talks with them at one stage about joining them potentially. I'm going to follow him. I'm going to support him. But then 100 Thieves came, and I liked everything about 100 Thieves. You know, Aframu and stuff like that. So I was like, I just want a good 5 series, but because of what Doublelift's gone through, it would be nice if he won. And, you know, he played a hell of a game, a hell of games, and I think he deserved it with everything gone on. I don't think, like, even if you don't love Doublelift's personality, you have to respect him. Like, that's what I'd say. And, you know, well, I love his personality anyway, so it's a bonus for me. Holy moly, we've got a lot. All right, let's go again. Next one. Do you have, or would you ever get a tattoo? Nope, not interested. Just not my type of thing. The only type I would ever get is something that would mean something to me and only me. So, like, I know of people that unfortunately they have had family members pass and they have a date on their arm or something like that. That to me is respectful, and it's like, you know, that grounds you. The art stuff, it's really not for me. I'm not interested. But there. What do I do outside of streaming / videos? Basically nothing. And I'm not even kidding. It's the life of a YouTuber streamer that does 2 videos a day every day. So yeah, not a lot. I do play some games with my friends, but it's mainly gaming. I am back in the gym, so I'm doing that a bit again. Drive my car. Looks to buy stuff. I collect quite a lot of stuff, so that also takes my time. Do money stuff outside of like my normal like YouTube stuff, you know, but I'm not going to share that, but I do well elsewhere. Yeah, but it's mainly what you see is what you get. All right, next one. What do I think of the new Irelia? If I could change one thing about her, what would it be? Probably nothing. I think she's really good. I think she's too strong, so I think she'll get nerfed. Her mana costs are too low. You don't get punished for missing an E at all. Like, you just wait 5 seconds and you can do it again. It costs way too low mana. So I think they'll change that. But I think it's a success. But again, do I think it's like a replacement to the old Irelia? Not really. Like, I think that, like, it sounds weird, but I basically think they both... if you changed one of their queues, so one of their queues was different, they both could exist in League of Legends. So, I don't know. I love it, though. But the old Irelia definitely had a charm that I miss. Something about it. If I only could choose one, which would it be? Game of Thrones or Star Wars? Game of Thrones. So that may surprise some people, because obviously one has a lot more nostalgia to others. But I was born in 94, so I didn't have the old school Star Wars that are very good, but they weren't like a marvel to me, because, you know, by the time I watched them and understood them, the graphics didn't look that good. They didn't look that impressive anymore. Like, and I wasn't as emotionally invested as most of the fans are. When the prequels came out, they were terrible. So that even made me kind of like, do I even care about Star Wars? And you don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars. I love the old films. The new ones, they're hit or miss. The latest one's terrible, but the Force Awakens was good, and I really hope JJ brings it back in the last one. I really, really hope. And I've liked some of the offshoots. Rogue One was pretty good, but you just knew what was going to happen, which kind of ruined it for me. It's like, how do you make a film when everybody knows what's going to happen about it? I don't know. I think that type of storyline only works if it's historic, and obviously Star Wars isn't historic. And we'll see how Solo is, which I'm very nervous about, because they are. I'm the thing I'm nervous about Solo the most is the person that's playing him, Harrison Ford's new guy. I don't even think he is gonna be good at all. I think everybody else is gonna be good. I think the guy that's playing Lando Calrissian. Who's playing Lando Calrissian? I can't remember his name. He's got a... What is his name? He's got a nickname because he's a DJ or something as well. Everybody knows who I'm on about. I think he's going to be incredible. That he's a very impressive guy. So I think it'll be good in some aspects. I like Emilia Clarke. Well, speaking about Emilia Clarke, Game of Thrones, on the other hand, Game of Thrones brought Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad were the two shows that brought television back. Like, television was dying. That's what people don't understand. It was really dying, and they had to do something. So HBO and whoever made Breaking Bad, it might have even been HBO as well, basically just threw money at the wall and just was like, make something that brings us back. And they did. They landed on Game of Thrones. I'm a nut for, like, Lord of the Rings, so it's up my alley already, and I love the storylines. I don't know, it's different. Again, someone who grew up with the old Star Wars films probably right now is going, what? It's the same with me. I grew up with Game of Thrones. When Game of Thrones first came out, you're talking, I was 15, I think. I think Game of Thrones is been out for 8 or 9 years. So I would have been about 15, 16 when it first came out. In my opinion, perfect age for it kind of growing into it. Probably actually a bit too young, but like, I've grown up with it in my adult life. So to me, it means more than Star Wars because I haven't grown up with Star Wars as much. And the prequels, which I did grow up with, I think the prequels came out in like year 2000. I was like 6. So yeah, I either didn't get it fully or I did, and I didn't think it was that good. So yeah, like, to me, that's a kind of relatively easy question to answer. But yeah. All right, let's keep her going. How do you judge a professional team before the season starts? Example, the new Origin roster. History is the only thing you can really go off. History of what they've done and history of their ex-teammates. So the new Origin roster looks incredible. It's got Insect, Forgiven, Froggen, all amazing players individually. So that's a good sign. Step 1, tick in the box. They're all individually good players. Then you have to start looking at how did they perform with certain players with different play styles. So I'm not going to do this, but other analysts will, who are actually playing against them teams. Because, Forgiven has a history of wanting to be the carry and having attitude problems with teammates. Well, his support, how does he work with people like that? Has he been with an AD carry like that before? And that's where you can kind of start delving deeper. How many shot callers have they hired? Who is known to be a shot caller? Have they hired none? All that could probably help. So yeah, it's history and kind of reading into their past lives, as it were. That's how you do it. I'm not going to do it, but analysts will. I'm not saying the person's name every single time. I apologize. Some of them are a bit weirder names. But any expectations for E3? It's hard to predict E3. Like, I actually probably want to go there one day. Any expectations? There is a rumor floating around that PlayStation may be announcing their new PlayStation. And apparently it might be actually coming out late 2018. I have heard that rumor. So potentially that, if I had to put a safe bet on anything. I'll tell you something I want to see. Give me a Pokemon on the Switch. Give me a open adventure Pokemon game on the Switch. If you want to make money in Nintendo, if they're ever it surprised me because they've had some rough years recently. If you ever want to bring Nintendo back, just develop a console Pokemon game on the Switch. Like, again, you have the choice of just handhelding it, like you've done for years and forever, or have the TV experience. Oh my god, that would make my absolute year if that happened. And combine Combine like the classic Pokemon games on the DS with Pokemon Colosseum on the GameCube. Combine those two games, and to me, with modern technology, it would be amazing. And, you know, think of the merchandise potential with all the amiibo stuff that if they still do those, scan an amiibo and you can get like a shiny or something. So much money is easily had. It's ridiculous. But that's my hope. All right, next one. Favorite character in My Hero Academia? Again, people give you a hard time if you just say the obvious choice, but I'm going to say the obvious choice. Deku, the main character, Izuku Midoriya, I think his actual name is. He's my favorite character because he kind of sums up like the underdog guy, right? He's got no powers, but he's still heroic. You know, I had this conversation with someone on stream the other day, and they were going, "Oh, he's a wimp character." It's like, you're watching the same show? Like, he's the bravest character in the show. Like, he ran into danger when he had no superpowers, and that is what made him worthy. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, My Hero Academia is an anime that is taking over Japan and, well, the West, to be honest. And it's basically, the way that the anime world works is there's millions of animes, but generally each broadcaster who does them has 3 front runners. So, like, you could have Dragon Ball and, you know, whatever ones they make. So the company that used to make Naruto is now making the Naruto Sun anime. It's popular, but it's not the same like level as Naruto apparently. But My Hero Academia is. My Hero Academia basically took the place of the old Naruto in popularity. So now they're pushing that as being one of the front anime series. So that's a good sign, by the way, because that means you'll get faster production times. So you may have 2 seasons a year rather than 1. And also the animation quality will have budget. It won't stop. They'll just keep going. They'll want to milk it. And I never mind milking stuff that I enjoy. Milk Lord of the Rings all you want. Make that Amazon show. Give me 5 series in it. Hell, give me 6 if you want to. I'm perfectly fine with milking it. You know, people were disappointed in The Hobbit. I love The Hobbit. I don't care what people say. Give me all of those movies. Give me 2 more. Make up stuff. I love those worlds. And that, to me, is what it's all about. And, yeah, my favorite character is, like, the main character. Just pure and simple. I think it's cool. I like the learning process that he's going through. And, yeah, I don't know. I just like how he interacts with everybody. People are still giving me questions. Someone literally, next question. New season of Tokyo Ghoul or new season of My Hero Academia? New season of My Hero Academia. I have watched some of the new Tokyo Ghoul. I've watched episode 1. Looks a little bit weird. You know, I did like the original 2 series of Tokyo Ghoul. This one looks a bit down the line, where he's obviously now like a police guy or something. I could easily not watch Tokyo Ghoul. I don't think from now on I could just stop watching My Hero. So I think that kind of answers your question. Right, here we go. What kind of music do you like listening to and all that stuff? Am I a book reader? I am. You can see books back here. Read them all that are here. So if you want to pause and zoom in and stuff. And there are some like down that you can't see down there. Am I music? I like a lot of music. It's rare to find music I dislike, I would say. And, you know, people go, what? I'm not a massive fan of modern rap. You know, I like Eminem. And that's not just because, you know, the color thing. It's not. I just don't. You know, you like what you like and you don't what you don't. To be honest, I have never listened to Kanye West, so I don't know if, well, again, I might have, I don't know if it's him. I've never listened to Jay-Z. I've never listened to any of those guys. I watched the other night, David Letterman has a new show on Netflix. He interviewed Jay-Z, and it actually made me respect him a lot more without me even listening to his music. But in the little musics that he played, I didn't think it was that good. So I was like, I'm probably not going to listen to any of his music from this, but I respect the guy a hell of a lot. So yeah, like he was naming other musicians. Never heard of them. Like I heard of Tupac. That was like the only one that he said, and I was like, I know that guy, but that's it. But yeah, like that's pretty much the only one that I can say that if someone go listen to this, you know, will you listen to this? The only one that I'd probably say no to out the off-right would be just like modern rap, probably. All right, next one. How is the girlfriend problem going? Yeah, using the word problem is probably the right word to say. It's not. I've put it on pause. It's not a priority of mine right now. I need to sort me out more than that. And some people have made the point to me is like, well, if you get one of those, they may help you sort this. Possibly, but I'm not seeking anymore, put it that way. Like, again, I was on a couple, like 2 dating sites and stuff. I've cancelled all of that. Like, I'm not seeking anymore. I'm just focusing on work and other things that are going on, really. All right, next thing is... What? So weird that when one person asks a question, there's a similar question. We've had 2 anime questions in a row, and then this question: if you had the choice of dating any league champ, who would you date and why? I'm going to be honest, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, I probably just wouldn't answer this question because I find it weird thinking that way of drawn and animated characters. I don't get that at all. Like, I know there are people going, what? Yeah, I don't get that world. You know, the drawn stuff. Nah. It's like, again, some people are like, oh, just say what champion. Nah, like, to me, I can't. Like, it just isn't in me to think that way of somebody who is non-existent. You know, it just, for me, that's weird. So I don't know. If you love that stuff though, you be you. Again, as long as you're not harming others in any way, it's cool. Next one is Caleb. Number 1 tip for climbing. Play a lot of games. Yeah, that's probably number 1. You can't climb if you don't play. So many people who are like, I'm in bronze, I don't deserve bronze. And you're like, you've only played 20 games. Yeah, but I deserve silver. Well, play more games. You can't climb if you only played like little games. Let's find some new ones. Did I study French in school? Oui. Je m'appelle Huzzy. Je suis en Cambridge, Angleterre. Oh my god, I forgot most of what I knew. I was pretty good at French. Je parlais en français, petit point. J'adore jambon. There we go. All the French people right now are going, ah! Some people are just saying thanks. Again, if you send me messages saying thanks, you know, they're climbing that's awesome. That's cool. Again, so many people are just like tweeting me random or Snapchatting random stuff. What is the most effective way that you've heard of or found myself to untilt? Or even to stop tilting in the first place? It's very hard to not tilt if you care about League. That's what tilting is. You tilt because you care. If you don't care, you won't tilt. And that's why people have said, Huz, how don't you tilt on your Smurf? Because I don't care about my Smurf. It's pretty much that simple. In not a bad way. Like, it's not like I don't care about winning. I want to win on my Smurf. But losing on my Smurf means very little to me. So that's why I'll probably never tilt on my Smurf. My main account's a different story, though. My main account, I definitely tilt on a lot more. It's because I care. It's as simple as that. So how to not tilt? Stop caring, but then, you know, you're human. You're going to care. So that's unrealistic. So it's basically about controlling the tilt. If you think you're tilted, and again, the only person that knows you're tilted is you. It always annoys me when I'm streaming and people are going, you're tilted. How do they know? Like, they don't know how I tilt. No one knows how you tilt. You know how you tilt. So if you understand of how you tilt, deal with it. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. No, not sponsored. I personally always go on a different game. So if I know I'm tilted, I will jump on a different video, like literally a different video game, and I will win in that video game, like of some degree. Like I'll go on PlayerUnknown Battleground. I'll go on Heroes of the Storm. Whatever. Like, it doesn't matter what game you go on. I'll go on a different game and win in that game. Tilt's gone. Like for me, that's how it works. Like the moment I see like a victory, I'm refreshed. I could be tilted in a game of League of Legends on my main account. The game is going terrible, and I'm sure there's been videos of this. Game is going terrible. We turn it. I'm tilted in the game. We turn the game. I see the victory screen. I'm not tilted anymore. That's the way that I work. It's really weird. It might not be for you, but that's the way that I've always been. All right. Okay. Again, some people are asking, what do I do outside of YouTube? As mentioned, not much. Am I ever going to become a full-time Twitch streamer? Probably not. Again, Twitch right now is a supplement to my YouTube. I don't think it'll ever turn into the other way around. And for me, that's fine. You know, again, when you're thinking about, like, if I'm going to become a full-time streamer, to become a full-time streamer, I would have to make more on Twitch than I would YouTube, because obviously I've got to take time to make the YouTube videos, and if I'm a full-time streamer, I wouldn't have the time. On YouTube, I make, let me think, I make 5 times, around 5 times more on YouTube than I do Twitch. And I'm doing well on Twitch. We're over 300 Twitch subscribers now. So in reality, if I wanted to become a full-time Twitch streamer, we'd have to get me to around 1,500 Twitch subscribers, which I don't think is going to happen. You know, my yearly goal for Twitch subs is 500. That is my year goal this year to get to. We're 4 months in, and I'm at over 300. So it looks pretty good if it continues the rate we're going. But I doubt we'll ever get there. You know, the benefit of being a YouTuber with having a decent streaming audience is it just raises everything for me. Like, it raises job security by having more Twitch subs. So to me, it's a bonus more than anything. And, you know, the reason I started streaming to make videos was to kind of get rid of, like, the loneliness of just recording by myself all day. At least I've got a Twitch chat that I can bounce off, you know, without triggering people. That's how Sandalman came about. And I know some people got offended by that, but the vast majority of people loved that. You know, it was banter. That's all it was. And, like, I didn't even come up by it. It was someone on the Twitch chat saying it, and I just read it. I love the back and forth banter. But yeah. Right, let's continue. When will you get married? Dude, if you're offering, no. I don't know, really. I'm not again, marriage to me is important and not important at the same time, because there will be some people right now who are religious going, you can't get married, you're a Satan worshipper or something. To me, marriage isn't religious whatsoever. It's a promise to somebody significant in your life that you want to spend the rest of your life with that person. That's all it is to me. You know, it's not about the wedding ding ding dings. I probably wouldn't get married in a church, sorry. If somebody of that significance came around and she was amazing, yes. If she really wanted it, 100% I'd do it, you know. But if she was like, I don't care about it, it doesn't bother me that much. If as long as we're very, like, we know what we're expecting. Like, to me, marriage is great because you're promising yourself to somebody else. But again, I know what I'm about to say is probably old school. Usually the marriage day of itself isn't for the guy. It's usually for the girl. You know, it's getting the dress on and the whole shebang. That's what I've experienced anyway. And, you know, my sister, you know, she's going to have a massive wedding, I can imagine. You know, it's for her. It's not for her partner. So to me, weddings aren't a big deal, but maybe getting married, yeah, down the line, if I meet the right girl and she's just amazing and she completes me, as it were. I know that sounds cheesy, but yeah. Other than that, I'm not that fussed. And even if I find that one, I don't have to get married. Like, that's the point I want to make. All right, so did I ever change my area of study in university? No, I didn't. And I will say, if you're American, it's not as easy here as it is in America. So in America, again, I do know quite a lot about the American system because my sister went to there and my dad did on sports scholarships. So America, from my knowledge, is your first year you basically do general ed. So you do maths, English, and just a few other things. And you basically are picking your major in this time. And major and minor. Well, in Britain University, you don't have a year of general ed at all. Your 3 years in university is it. And you do one thing. You only do one thing. If you're going into university for computer science, you just do computer science. And obviously there are different modules here and there, but they're all related to computer science. If you're doing biology, chemistry, they're all just that. That is your degree. You are an expert in that field. And you know, you can change technically, but you've got to restart completely. So if you do 1 year of, let's say, business, a degree in business, you know, I don't want to do business anymore. I want to do a degree in French language, where you've got to start back in year 1 and do French language. So it's not the same here in the UK. So no, I didn't. I just did computer science gaming technology, basically. Some of them are very similar. You know, we just had 3 questions in a row that I just opened was, do I play any other games? Literally 3 in a row. Someone said, who was my biggest inspiration to start YouTube? 2 people. Jesse Cox and Total Biscuit. Jesse Cox, I still watch to this day. Not as much as he used to because he's done some, different content here and there. But back in, his first ever Crisis playthrough, I think it was Crisis 3 and Witcher 2, I want to say. Those two series helped me through an incredibly rough year. It was one of the downest years of my life, but I always felt joy when I watched his videos. And when I thought about making my own channel, I messaged him and I got a reply. Whether it was from him or one of his staff, I don't know. But I got a reply with some just basic YouTube advice. And then recently I actually met him at his own event. And back there on that wall right there, you actually can see the red thing right there. That is actually a VIP pass to CoxCon, Jesse Cox's own convention. So to me, it was a massive deal of the reason I started YouTube. Or one of the reasons was Jesse Cox's story about he was a teacher, he got fired, he started doing YouTube. For me, it was I was in a very depressed year. I started YouTube to cure the boredom. And to come full circle, that I went to his own convention as a VIP. Dude, like, that, I was done. Like, I met him very briefly when we were there. I'm not going this year, unfortunately. We're doing something else again. It was tied in with meeting my online friends at the convention. We're doing something else this year, but I'll probably go again. Like, probably 2019, I'll go to CoxCon again. And, yeah. And then the other one, Total Biscuit. Very similar story. They were World of Warcraft YouTubers, both of them back in the day. And Total Biscuit, I just liked what he did. I liked that he could just talk about anything and have his opinions and have a voice. And in that year that I was kind of depressed and lost my way, YouTube found, I got my voice back. And so Jesse Cox and Total Biscuit I owe a lot too. But I'll be honest, and I don't really watch Total Biscuit anymore. He doesn't make as much content, obviously, with his difficulties at the moment, which is completely fine and respectable. But I've moved away from his content over the last couple of years anyway. So, yeah, I will still respect the hell out of them. And, one of my dreams that will probably never come true is to get on their podcast. They both have a podcast together with Dodger. Dude, that would literally complete me if I ever got onto that thing. But I don't think I'm big enough. So, yeah. All right, next one. What do I think about classic games being remastered like Crash Bandicoot did and the upcoming Spyro? What do I think about them? Well, again, you're naming the games that were my childhood. So these games were mid to late 90s games. I was born in 94. I played the original PlayStation. I was playing Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, all of them. So for me, and Ratchet and Clank, that did as well. For me, it's a weird one because although I own all of them, I literally have, I don't know where it is, I literally have both the new Crash Bandicoot and the new Ratchet and Clank. When I say new, they're not new anymore. I bought both of them. They're still in the cellophane. I haven't opened them. I haven't played them. It's part of me is like, oh, I'm going to play this. And then I kind of get it. And I'm like, do I really want to play this when my whole childhood is like that? I don't know. I don't know if I would replace my childhood memories with the new thing. Because the childhood memories are amazing. So I don't know, I like it because, it brings attention to franchises that I grew up with. I'm sure parents, I'm 23. There are people with kids who are 5 right now. They had kids at 18 or let's say a little bit older than me and they still played Crash. They could introduce Crash and Spyro to their kids now. And it's like the new version. And to me, that's a really cool idea. So I like it and dislike it at the same time. So yeah. I remember that you said you played rugby. What position did I play? 3 positions, either inside centre, full back or wing, depending who was around at the time. Again, we were a good team. I was, again, football was my main thing. Rugby was my second. Arguably, I potentially could have been a better rugby player if I did more of it. And, I was an A-League champion footballer, so that says a bit. But yeah, the reason I played rugby was because my family is Welsh, South African, that mixture. So if you know anything about rugby, yeah, there's a reason why I played rugby as well. So yeah, inside centre, fullback and wing. I was a county athletic sprinter, so wing, I was very quick. which was quite good. And because of, like, when I played rugby, I was never scared of football tackles, because that, you know, when someone dived in football, I literally just laughed because it was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. When someone just went, Fret, I was like, are you, like, what? I was never scared of any challenge. It doesn't matter who you were. As long as you're tackling somebody in the right way, your technique is good, you'll never really get injured, apart from if they do something, like, unexpected. So, yeah, I was quite good at tackling, and inside center's quite involved. So, yeah. All right, next go. So, again, going to go for about an hour. We'd be going for about 44-ish minutes, so we've got about 15 minutes to go. Still got a million questions, so I won't be able to get through all of them. I'll try to reply to the people that I haven't. So, yeah. All right, so what is the hardest thing about being you? That's an odd question. What's the hardest thing about being you? I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. Again, everybody's got their own levels of difficulty, so I don't want to say something's hard for me or something's easy for me, because it may be the other for the other person. You know, that's how people are different. That's how people gain success in different areas. What I find easy, someone may find hard. What they find easy may be hard. So, to me, again, it's an interesting question, but it's not really one I can answer that I would like. So, yeah. People are asking, how's the training going? Yeah, like, it's going. I'm back in the gym of recording this. I'm back in the gym tomorrow. Again, starting up once a week at the moment. Gonna start to go multiple times if I can. Again, it's all time dependent. I'm very busy, surprisingly. And a lot of it will rely on me just fixing my sleep schedule, which my sleep schedule is terrible. It always has been. But the more I fix the sleep schedule, then I can start going to the gym in the morning before I need to record. And that opens up hours in the day that I probably could use better. So it's going. So yeah. When people ask me, like, what's the best support champion and stuff, there's not a best of any role. It doesn't exist. What's my favorite champion? What's my favorite champion's lore? So not my favorite champion. What's my favorite champion's lore? I'm not massive into lore, I'll be honest. Again, I do like stories in games, but League to me isn't a story game, so I've never cared about the story. You know, if I'm playing Witcher, I pay attention completely to the story, but because it's a story-driven game. League, I've never paid attention that much, so I don't really know. If I had to think, though, I don't know. Like, there's not one favorite. My favorite story of lore in League is probably the Shen Yasuo lore. If you don't know, Shen's father, I might get this wrong, but Shen's father had a dojo that they trained in martial arts and all that good stuff. So Shen was an amazing student. Zed was also a student here, and Zed wanted to be more powerful and wanted to kind of just get stronger by any means necessary. There was this forbidden technique or forbidden scroll, I don't know, that they weren't allowed to obviously have. Well, Zed ignored that, learnt the technique, which was the shadow technique, which is all of his shadows, and ended up killing basically everybody in the dojo to prove he was stronger. He didn't kill Shen, but Shen is now out to get revenge of Zed. If they haven't changed the law, I think it's relatively like that. But League, they are changing the law quite a lot. Again, I have said my rumour of why they're doing it is they are world building. Why are they world building? Could be a couple things. Could be an anime show. Could be a new game that we know they're developing one. Could be an MMORPG. Could be a movie. You know, why are they world building? Why are they filling the gaps of the different relations between everybody? To me, there has to be a reason other than lore. There has to be. Alright, let's keep her going. How did I find League of Legends? A friend told me about it. Pretty much that simple. It was growing. We were in season 1. It was actually, no, it may have just come out of beta, and we were playing WoW, and he just saw, hey, League's a thing. Let's try it out. Okay. Simple. I played League for a couple weeks. I quit after a few days, sorry, not a couple weeks, and came back to it about 4 months later. So, yeah, my initial impression of League is I actually hated it. I didn't like League initially. How do I know if you're having brain lag day? If you're just slow, basically. If you're having a numerous amount of moments that you're like, oh, I could have killed him there, or oh, I could have lived if I did that. If that's happening a couple too many times, you're probably having a brain lag day. Would I recommend someone to start out on YouTube, Twitch? It's the wrong question. Why would you, like, my reply to you would be, why do you want to do it? You know, I've had people come to me going like, I want it to be my job. I don't really give advice to those type of people because that's the wrong frame of mind. The likelihood of you succeeding on Twitch or YouTube nowadays is less than 0.00001%. Like, it's nigh on impossible. And it was even hard when I first started. It's even harder now because there's more people doing it. What I would say is, if you want to do it, that's fine. Do it for fun. Do it for a hobby. Don't do it for anything other than that. And if you want to, like, say, oh no, I want to be successful at it, how do I do that? The easiest way about going about it is be different. Why would someone watch you over pre-existing people with fan bases and emotional attachments to people they already watch? There has to be something unique. There has to be something different. You have to be better than them, in all honesty. So you could be funnier. You could be a different language. You know, again, that's a niche. There's not always languages available for people. By high rating players. But yeah, the common denominator, if you want to be a League YouTuber that isn't a comedian, you got to be good. If you're bronze, silver, gold, platinum, hell, even probably diamond. I know I'm diamond, but even diamond nowadays, you're probably going to struggle because so many people are already there doing it. You know, if I started YouTube right now, I doubt I'd succeed being a mid-diamond player. I succeeded because there weren't many back in the day in Season 3, and there was still a decent amount, but not as many. Where now, really to stand out, you probably have to kind of go, I'm new, I'm a new YouTuber, watch me, listen to me, I'm Challenger. That probably is a better introduction rather than going, hey, I'm a plat player. No one's going to listen. So, yeah. Right, so going for another 10 odd minutes. We might actually get through them, actually. We've got, I think, about 6 more. From Kirky, how should I react when people flame me in my games for trying out new champions and roles? And saying trying new things in normal games, not ranked, obviously. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? If you're trying new things, like, there could be a number of things that you could do. If you're worried about being flamed at the start of the game, going, hey, I'm trying something new, and let them know. You know, literally let them know I'm trying something new. It may not go well. And maybe that's a little bit of like an inkling to them kind of going, okay, I won't flame that person. Or just don't care. I really don't care when people flame in rank that much. I just hit the mute button, report them at the end of the game. That's my extent of caring. In a normal game, I care even less. So yeah, really, I just wouldn't bother about it. I know some people get a little bit like, oh god, I just can't get flamed, I can't deal with it. I understand that. But really, it's not a big deal. Like, really, especially if it's normals. Yeah, like, just mute them all instant. The moment someone says something bad, mute. Done. Finito. Continue practicing something new. All right. How did I schedule your study with League? I actually made a video on this, and I'd recommend watching that because it's probably going to explain it better in that video I made about it, other than my minute explanation here. So I would Google or YouTube Huzzy University, and it may come up. It was like how to balance university and League or something. And basically the thing that I said is the way that I always looked at it is you have 3 categories that overlap each other when you're in school or university. You've got your work/school in one bubble. You've got entertainment in another, which includes League, and sleep is the third. Really, you're only ever going to do 2 well. So are you going to sleep well and do really well in school, but play a little bit of League? Are you going to play a lot of League and sleep well and you'll do terrible at school? You kind of have to sacrifice one. I sacrificed sleep when I was in university. So I did very well in my uni. I did very well in League. I sacrificed sleep. It's not for everybody. Some people won't be able to cope. But that's the way that I did it. And yeah, it worked for me. Again, to get anywhere in life, you've got to sacrifice something. You know, if you're wanting to get somewhere, you're not expecting anything to go bad. Yeah, you need a wake-up call. So expect something to kind of slip. And it's probably better. Well, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to say anything about health, but yeah. All right, let's keep going. What's my favorite meal? I don't really have a favorite meal. Again, I'm not somebody that has favorites of stuff. I don't know. I don't know if there's a name for that type of person. I try not to have favorites because I like a lot of stuff. And that's just in life in general. That's not just food. That's life in general. I don't have a favorite movie. I don't have a favorite League character. I just like stuff. I like barbecues. We call them braais. I like pick and mix meals. So like a roast chicken with like salads and coleslaw and little picket. I like Mexican food. I like China. Like I like a lot of stuff. It's hard, obviously. Like let's be honest. All right, we got 4 more. If you could add any skin to any champion, what it would be and why. I don't know who it would go to, but just give me a Boku no Hero themed skin on somebody, or give me an Avatar skin on somebody. Avatar Legend of Aang or Korra. Give me one of those skins. Arguably, you know, Talia is kind of like an earthbender and waterbender. Sure, but give me like like Elementalist Lux as elements, but give me somebody that controls all the elements as a skin. Like properly. I hear you humming the Greatest Showman songs from time to time. What's your favourite song part of the movie? My favourite song of the movie is the one that he's going home, like at the end. I'll actually, what's it called? Spotify, From Now On. That's my favourite song in the movie, From Now On. So it was a good film. Good film. Can I do a handstand? I used to be able to. I haven't tried in probably over 6 years, so I don't know. And this is where, you know, when I move out and I've got a whole recording room, this is where I would try to do a handstand, but I can't right now. And the last question is, oh, it's actually not a question, it's just a very nice message. Some people saying, you know, I'm not going to share what's happened to this person, but they've been going through a tough time recently. Your content has been one of the very few things that makes me smile a little, so I wanted to thank you for that. When I get these type of messages, it means a lot. So thank you for that. I'll say Elizabeth. I'm actually going to keep her message on the screen, so I'm going to reply to her. But no, thanks. Like again, people say thank you for what I do, but really thank you for watching. I'm very privileged to get what I do, and obviously it's hard work. My friends think I'm crazy for doing 2 videos a day every day. Maybe I am, but you know, maybe that won't last forever. You know, right now, as I've mentioned in this Q&A, I don't have a lot going on other than what I'm doing. So who knows, down the line when I have other stuff going on, maybe we won't do 2 videos a day every day, but I may as well do it while I can, you know, while there's not a lot going on. And you know, it's cool. I like doing what I do. So yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for the continued support. And I will just very quickly speak about something that actually was really nice recently. So I believe it was the Poppy episode of Unranked to Diamond, I basically just asked a question. You know, it was a negative game, and I could feel myself getting slightly negative in my commentary. You know, I'm not an idiot. I know it's happening. And I asked the question, what do I do in these situations? Because in the past, whenever I've done it, I just say it how it is. And if that's negative, I've just said it. And I don't want to come across that type of person, or I don't want people complaining about it. So I asked the question, and the amount of support that I got of people going, hell, the only people that say that type of thing aren't fans or don't get it. Man, it was amazing. Like it really made me happy. Like it genuinely made me happy of that. I've got that amount of people that care about just being real and honest and open. I was like, holy. And, you know, there were even a couple of people going, hey, I've left a couple of comments about that in the past. I actually want to apologize. When you put it the way you did, yeah, there isn't really anything else you can talk about, and you're not going to act a different way just to be smiley and make memes. That's not you. And there were quite a few apologies too, in, you know, even private messages. And I was like, that's why I love the audience that I have. They're real. We're not fake. You know, whenever somebody joins my Discord server and tries to be like an attention seeker and does memes or asks stupid stuff, they get like shunned out of the community, and like not in a terrible way, but people go, yeah, that's not our type of community, which I really respect. You know, I really do. So again, thank you for that. So that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. It was an hour long, so I do not know how many of you got to the end. If you got to the end, I'll say ask a question in the comment section below. I'll be down in the comments answering as much as I can. So yeah, go down there, answer them, or ask them, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. So like, subscribe, see you guys next time. See ya.